chief target of the corruption investigation was seized just hours after the president acted to throw out Ms. Bhutto's government last November. Asif Zardari, her husband, is brought to court for a hearing from his prison cell, where he's being held on a charge of conspiracy to murder and 2 corruption counts. The government says more are in the pipeline. Mr. Zardari defended himself in an exclusive interview with Assignment.
They just have to attack somebody. They have to make a target and then they have to build around it. They can't build around her because she's known, she has an international perception, people know her, she's worked in politics for the last 15 years. They can't seem to make anybody believe that there's something wrong with her. So who do they have to make believe that there's something wrong with? Is the husband, because if you hit the husband, you're hitting it home.
Mr. Zardari was handsome and charming, even if his pedigree hardly matched his wife's.
He has no social standing, no political standing. His father was a cinema owner. His father sold all his property and made a cinema in Karachi. And later on he sold that, and at the time when Benazir married Asif Zardari, his father was being tried for bank fraud cases. So they only had a dilapidated and crumbling house in Karachi, and it is a family which has no background whatsoever from any point of view.
In the 1993 elections, Ms. Bhutto fought back. Those first corruption and murder charges against Asif Zardari had failed, and he again became a member of parliament that year.
I thought of her as a friend, and I thought it my duty to go and tell her what the public thought. I said, Ms. Bhutto, in the old days, they used to say that Asif Zardari was a crook. Now they're saying you're partners in crime. Please do something about this perception. And she flew off in a rage, and she raved and she ranted, and she said she didn't accept a word of criticism. What do you do?
And did he turn out to be her partner in crime?
That's what I think. And I think we have the evidence to prove that.
The husband of the Prime Minister used to boast amongst his friends that he and Benazir had already skimmed $1.5 billion of the Pakistan economy in the 3 years that they had been in power.
You were known as Mr. 10%. How can you account for that?
But for 3 years I was in prison before, and I was known as Mr. 10% then. How come in 3 years they couldn't prove anything?
In contrast to the lot of the poor, at the Prime Minister's house, Miss Bhutto's husband enjoyed special privileges. 2 14-acre polo fields were carved out of a mountain, along with a practice area for his polo-playing friends. 47 stables were built for his polo ponies, all at public expense. We've obtained documents from Islamabad's local authority, which had to foot the bill. They detail the works and the costs, millions of rupees. In all, Mr. Zardari's lifestyle is reckoned to have cost the state over £1 million.
What lifestyle? I live on government expense. For the last 3 years, all my expenses were paid by the government. Living in a PM house, you don't pay for nothing. They weren't paying for my polo ponies. There were a bunch of friends. Polo field is a grass field 14 acres long. It's not a multi-story building that you're constructing with a lot of money. And let them bring that charge against me, let them prove it. I've never even seen Surrey, leave alone occupy it. And if I have, then let them prove it. It's not impossible to prove. Let them prove it.
But despite Mr. Zardari's claim that Rockwood isn't his, the President points to a trail of documents leading from his home in Karachi to Surrey. A Pakistan Airways shipping bill shows that items of furniture and carpets were sent from Bilawal House, the first couple's home in Karachi, to London in April last year. That month, the Foreign Ministry in Islamabad, under the instructions of the PM House, directed the High Commissioner in London to take charge of the shipment. A copy of the memo was sent to Mr. Zardari's secretary. The High Commissioner then authorised the main building contractor for Rockwood, a Mr. Paul Keating, to collect the goods. They were duly released to Mr. Keating on May the 2nd.
There are no shipping documents. There's nothing that went into the house. There are shipping documents of furniture and so-called carpets moving from Pakistan to England.
Yes, but from your house in Pakistan.
Yeah, my house in Pakistan. No, there is no house in England.
Whatever the truth about Rockwood, the affair caused a storm in Pakistan, raising wider questions about the couple's lifestyle at home and abroad. How could Miss Bhutto afford it on a declared income of just £15,000?
The fact that I'm put into that case is done to malign our government. The fact that he was murdered was a conspiracy. Who's lost the most in Mir Murtaza's murder? We. That's what they thought the last time around. Who tells you she's finished? No way. People's Party is in the bloodstream of the people of Pakistan. It does not finish because you accuse it of something. It doesn't happen like that. That's exactly what they thought the last time.
दिलरुबा दिलनशीं दिल फरेब और हसीं लफ्ज ये होंगे कहीं हमने तो देखे नहीं अपने तो हर तरफ एक ही तस्वीर है तुम कहो क्या मेरी बस यही तकदीर है इंतसाब 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 बोलो इंतसाब 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 बोलो इंतसाब कितनी आंखें देखेंगी आधी सदी पुराना ख्वाब इंतसाब 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 बस इंतसाब इंतसाब बस इंतसाब कितनी बार पुकारेंगे जिंदाबाद और मुर्दाबाद इंतसाब बोलो इंतसाब इंतसाब करो इंतसाब
हमने पाकिस्तान हासिल किया ये छोटी सी बात नहीं है कोशिश करो और पाकिस्तान को आगे बढ़ाओ
कितनी आंखें सोएंगी कितने चेहरे मुरझाएंगे कितनी सदियां रोएंगे तो हंसने के दिन आएंगे अभी कितनी आंखें सोएंगी अपनी किताबीर को कब तक ढूंढेगा वो ख्वाब हर सवाल लाजवाब इंतसाब बस इंतसाब 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 बस इंतसाब कितनी आंखें देखेंगी आंखें सदी पुराना ख्वाब इंतसाब 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 बोलो इंतसाब इंतसाब बोलो इंतसाब कितनी बार पुकारेंगे जिंदाबाद और मुर्दाबाद इंतसाब 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 बोलो इंतसाब 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 बोलो 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 इंतसाब
हाँ लंदन से ही बोल रहा हूँ वो मेरा बुखार शुखार आ रहा था ना तो यहाँ चेकिंग के लिए आया हूँ हाँ चेकिंग हो गई है डॉक्टर साहब ने डिस्प्रिन बताई है एक सुबह एक शाम हाँ